Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the So Brothers channel, and this is my first impressions look on the Air Jordan XXXVII. So this is the brand new Air Jordan signature shoe and it's going for a whopping 185 bucks. Not surprising, the Jordan signature shoe is always around 180 bucks, right? So of course, this is inspired by the Jordan 7 a little bit. We can see a few similar design cues from the Jordan 7 carrying on to the Jordan 37 just a tiny bit. If you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. They are still available at the time of me filming this video. So links will be in the description box, but let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And as far as the traction pattern goes, it looks kind of similar to the Jordan 7. It definitely does look like it is inspired by it. We have some like crooked thick lines, right? And we have some like Y shapes in the forefoot and also like some weird shapes here in the heel as well. And we have a Jumpman logo here in the heel and also a very nice premium touch, a carbon fiber midfoot chain plate. Look at that, super nice premium carbon fiber, which I like. The outsole is decoupled, they are not connected together, right? It's separated by this carbon fiber. So how does the traction feel so far? So on my wood floors, it feels all right. The bite seems okay. There is a little bit of a squeak as well, not super loud, not super high pitched. Hopefully it gets a little bit louder once I break it in. Of course, squeakiness has nothing to do with performance of an actual outsole, but of course I just like to have a squeaky outsole, you know, just in my personal preference. But you know, it's feeling pretty good so far, but not top tier yet. So hopefully it does break in a little bit. And as far as the durability goes, durability seems like it's going to be very, very good. So thank you for that, Nike and Jordan brand. Usually Nike and also Jordan brand, they give like really small nubs or very thin, soft rubber on their more expensive top of the line models for some reason. And then on their cheaper shoes, they give us more durable outsoles, which is weird. You would think that they would give us the opposite and give us more durable outsoles for more expensive shoes. But anyways, that's what they've been giving us. But for the Jordan 37, it actually feels very, very durable. The grooves are thick and also deep, and the rubber is super hard. So I feel like durability will be good on the outdoor court. I mean, if you do want to play with a $185 shoe on an outdoor court, you should be okay, right? All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. So overall, it feels pretty smooth, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice round, like kind of curved and kind of rounded shape. So it's not super clunky or anything, but this freaking cage is super stiff, right? And for example, like in the Wild 10 or even like the Harden Volume 6, the caging on those shoes are like, you can feel a little bit of give when you press it with your finger, right? But here in the 37, this is a really hard plastic, it feels like, and there's no give whatsoever, right? So it feels a little clunky. If you're doing like heel dominant strides, I feel like it's gonna be a little clunky in the heel, but this definitely does help this shape. And then here in the forefoot, we have a nice curve shape though. Very, very curved shape, which I like. And we have actually a good amount of flex, which did kind of surprise me because of the zoom units here in the forefoot, which we'll get into. So overall, heel to toe transition feels nice. And of course, we do have this carbon fiber midfoot shank plate, and it does have a little bit of rebound back, right? So I feel like that'll propel you forward and it'll feel nice when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court. So overall, it feels nice, just a little clunky here in the heel. And now moving on to the cushioning setup. So the cushioning setup is ridiculously insane. So they're using Formula 23 foam here in the heel, and they said it's super thick, which is like cool. But if you look at the Strobel board is pretty stiff if you feel it with your hand, right? And also, like I said, this cage is really, really stiff. So there's really no compression at all here in the heel, which is kind of sad. So both models that Jordan brand has put Formula 23 in, like the Luka 1 and also the Jordan 37, it's a brand new foam, Formula 23, but I mean, it's been pretty lackluster so far. I mean, the Jordan 37 here in the heel, I don't think it's gonna break in at all. This feels really, really stiff, right? But in the forefoot, it's crazy. So you can see the zoom Strobel unit in the forefoot. It's pretty much the exact same unit found in the Kyrie Infinity. There's not a whole lot of articulation either. There's only two that's going kind of like across the zoom unit like this. So if you look at full-length zoom Strobel units, they have a lot of articulation, right? But this one, not a lot. So from my experience in the Kyrie Infinity, you know, it's not my favorite because it's a little too much for me sometimes, right? Sometimes I really like it, sometimes it's just like I want something a little bit more responsive. But they also double stack that. So underneath that zoom Strobel unit in the forefoot, there's another zoom unit. And yeah, it's crazy, guys. There's a lot of compression. It feels a little unstable too right now, right? But it's crazy bouncy. So I'm gonna need to play it, of course. Yeah, it'll probably be very similar to the Kyrie Infinity setup. The court feel definitely doesn't seem as good as the Kyrie Infinity, but it still feels pretty good. Not super high up off the ground, but not crazy low to the ground either. Impact protection also seems like it's gonna be good, but we'll have to see on heel strikes. But I feel like, you know, they've made it pretty thick in the heel, so I don't think it's gonna hurt that much. It's just that there's not a whole lot of compression, right? So I am a little bit disappointed in the Formula 23, but it makes up for it here in the forefoot with the double stack zoom units, which is really crazy. All right, moving on to the material. The material also is something that's really crazy. They're using lino weave again, but this is even crazier than the Jordan 36. Like, look at it. There's no underlaying material. And look at how open the weave is. You can literally see through this material. And actually, like, it sounds and feels a little flimsy right now, and it definitely does feel plasticky. So that definitely does suck. You know, the quality of the material, like especially this lino weave, isn't the best, but it's super thin and ventilation will of course be the best. I mean, you can't really beat the ventilation from this lino weave. So yeah, I guess it feels really nice and thin and minimal in the forefoot, which is nice, but it does feel cheap and flimsy. And also durability does seem like it's gonna be an issue as well. Around the toe box, we have like it seems like a synthetic leather, which definitely, that kind of sucks as well. I mean, for 185 bucks, I feel like they could have used nicer quality leather. It's going around pretty much the entire shoe, as you guys can see, right? Look at that. And then also kind of like right above that, we have some fuse as well, right? The fuse is also going around the entire shoe. So that'll help with durability, but also we have an underlaying material on the lateral and also the medial side, right? Kind of like zigzags across the material. So that'll help for support and durability. I mean, if you're doing lateral movements and you're stretching this material a lot, they needed to add that. So that definitely does make sense. And of course, we have flat laces. And for the tongue, this is like a neoprene material, and it is an independent tongue, which I don't really like all too much, but the laces do go through the tongue right here, so it'll keep it in place. But it does fold over on itself just a tiny bit when I put it on, so that is kind of annoying. I wish they would have made it a half booty construction, but of course that's just like a quality of life thing for me personally. Not a huge deal for performance. But look at this tongue, guys. There's zero padding. It's the most minimal tongue I've ever seen. There's zero padding, which I guess is good if you want something really minimal. But I mean, for me, in my personal preference, I like to have a little bit of padding, you know, like in the Kyrie Infinity or like the Zoom Freaks, right? Also here in the back of the heel, there's really minimal padding too, right? So we have like a pad on both sides of the shoe, right, where your ankle bone is. So that feels nice on the ankle bone, but there's zero padding on the sides. And here in the back of the heel, we have like, there's really no padding, right? But it does cup the heel pretty damn nicely, so it doesn't feel like heel slippage is going to be an issue. But yeah, I mean, it feels really minimal as far as the upper goes. It feels nice on foot as well, so I can't really complain, and it feels overall pretty damn supportive. It doesn't really stretch at all, so I mean, it feels nice on foot, but as far as quality goes, it's definitely not the best. Alright, moving on to the fit, I went true to size and it fits me very well, right? So my toes go pretty much right to the edge of the shoe. It's actually really close to the edge. So if you don't like that, probably go up half a size, right? And also here in the toe box, it's a pretty snug fit. I can curl my toes up just a tiny bit. For my personal preference, I feel like I would have liked it a little bit more snug here in the toe box, but not a huge deal. And then width-wise, I would actually say it's slightly narrow. So yeah, I mean, fit, true to size, you should be good to go. But like I said, if you want to be a little bit more on the careful side, go up half a size if you don't want like a super snug fit lengthwise. Alright, as far as the support and lockdown goes, I mean, I've never had an issue with support, especially lateral containment in a Jordan signature shoe. So lateral containment, like I said, the material feels pretty damn supportive, right? Even though it doesn't look supportive, it feels pretty nice, right? And also we have the leather and fuse coming up a little bit to act as a lateral counter. And then here in the heel, this cage does come up to cage you a little bit as well, and there is an internal TPU heel counter, it feels like. So lateral containment feels like it's gonna be good, and also lateral stability. This shoe is very wide, right? Look at how much the midsole protrudes out here in the forefoot. So lateral stability feels like it's gonna be good too. And also ankle support, right? So we have a high top shoe. I mean, ankle support seems right? So this material is super thin and very flimsy. So even when I tightened the laces pretty damn tight, I still had pretty good ankle movement, but you know, ankle support seemed okay. So there's that. Moving on to the weight of the shoe, I mean, it feels, I don't know, I can't really tell. I mean, there's a lot of rubber and like plastic going on here in the midsole. And I mean, like the upper definitely does not add a whole lot of weight. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's gonna be like 13 ounces. So let's weigh the actual shoe, and it is 12.7 ounces. Interesting. I don't know why it felt a little bit heavier to me. 12.73 ounces. So that's definitely average weight. So yeah, I mean, if they didn't add all this plastic, I feel like it would have been a little bit lighter, because I mean, this material, this upper does not add any weight, I don't think. There's zero padding. This leno weave is probably like, the entire leno weave material is probably like 0.3 ounces or something, right? So all the weight is definitely on the bottom of the shoe, which I don't like all too much. You know, I like to have a little bit more of an even weight distribution, but it's mostly here in the heel, right? It feels a little bulky and a little clunky as well in the heel. But overall, it feels nice on foot, and I do like the bouncy feeling so far here in the forefoot. All right, moving on to the aesthetics. I like it. You know, it's definitely not one of my favorite Jordan models. Like my favorite would definitely be the Jordan 36, and then the Jordan 34, and then the Jordan 35, and then probably the 37, right? But honestly, like I got it in hand and it looks a little bit better. And on foot, you know, there's a mirror right here, and I saw like kind of like the on foot, and it doesn't look that bad. You know, I actually like this colorway as well. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the Jordan 37 is feeling pretty good, but there are some things that I don't like about it that much, right? So the traction seems okay. The cushion, like I said, with the Kyrie Infinity, I was pretty on and off with the cushioning setup because it is really, really crazy, and it's double stacked here in the forefoot for the Jordan 37. So we'll have to see on that. And also, I do like the materials though. I mean, it feels nice on foot and minimal, and the ventilation feels like it's gonna be good, but quality isn't the best. And also, like I said, the weight distribution is a little bit weird for me as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm a little indifferent right now. Obviously I need to try it out and play in it, but right now it's feeling pretty good so far. I am very excited, however, about the Jordan 37 low, which Jason Tatum was seen practicing in. It looks very different. You know, they pretty much changed the entire upper. So when I first saw it, I thought it was gonna be the JT signature shoe, like Jason Tatum's first signature shoe with Jordan Brand, but it wasn't. It's actually supposed to be the 37 low. But anyways, that about concludes my first impressions look on the Jordan 37. Again, if you guys do want to call, I'll try to leave the affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.